Karan Aujla, it is a pleasure to speak to you here on the BBC Asian Network. How are you?
I'm okay, brother. Just waking up in Canada. How are you?
I'm really well, thank you. Congratulations on the release of your album, Making Memories. How good does it feel to finally let this out to the world?
I mean, it's amazing, man. It's an amazing feeling. I was just talking to my team right now. It's like it's that feeling that you cannot really explain. I've been working on this for the last 1.5 year with Icky, and it's just been a procedure, like just finding the right sounds, combining them with the right lyrics, just right melodies in Punjabi, and it's just been a procedure, man. We're so glad it's out and it's working out and people are liking it. How do you like the album?
I really love it. I really love it. I love the variation of genres on there. I love the variation of styles. I love that there's things that are modern and more R&B and hip hop like Admiring You, but
Exactly.
then you've got a folk sound in something like Softly, which is my favorite song on the album as
Exactly.
well. So I love that you've given it so much thought. What I want to ask
Exactly.
you though is you said it took a year to a year and a half to put this together. I don't imagine that
Mhm.
full year to year and a half was physically in the studio. What happens during that period?
So it's basically it's not you're not really in the studio for like a year, but I go to studio like every 3 or 4 days and I stay there for like 10 to 12 hours. Like that's my job, right? So like you wake up in the morning and you head to the studio and you do your show. We basically do that. We've been actually me and Icky were meeting each other back and forth or getting on the calls every 2 or 3 days and basically just work on tracks. We had like more than 16 tracks that we actually created, and we ended up going with half of that number because I felt like it was a better idea to give him quality over quantity. And it's just most of the time you're just writing songs, changing melodies, and then sometimes you don't like this bit of this song, and sometimes you don't like this melody, and it just took time to just make music, man. Like it's and we honestly we wanted to take that time. We didn't want to rush it. So like when we started working on it, we didn't really know we were working on the album. We just started creating songs and just making more music, and we ended up with like this big bulk of 16 tracks, and we it was really hard to pick and choose.
How did you shortlist the songs that would make the final cut?
We just went with a feeling, to be honest. Like, yeah, close your eyes and just basically pick some songs because it was so hard to do that. Because every song, especially when you're a writer, you can't really decide like because you love every song that you create or you write. But it was pretty hard. But Icky definitely helped me on picking the right sounds and his team as well.
You've been speaking about how you want Punjabi music to be as accessible as Western music is in its style and in its genres. And I think with this album, you've really done that because if you don't understand Punjabi, you still vibe to the beats on the album, you still vibe to the music. But there is an audience that you have, a core Punjabi audience, who have an expectation that you will do Bhangra or that you will do more traditional Punjabi sounds. Is that something that worries you when you put an album like this out? Whether that audience will accept this style of you?
Um, Definitely yes, sometimes, but after I put this album out, it gave me a kind of assurance, like, okay, people will accept if you make something good, actually. So it actually happened. But yeah, if you ask if I was scared, I was kind of nervous before I put this album out. I was like, I don't know how people are gonna react to, especially a song like Admiring You, because I don't know if anybody's heard me like that ever, because it's my first time doing it. I've wrote some tracks like that, but never really in my voice, right? But it was definitely I was nervous, man. But I'm glad everybody's liking it though.
Yeah, it's so good. And I love the music that you've used. Like, for example, in Admiring You, you've got a synthesizer in there, right? Like, you're using it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it took me
Yeah.
back to like 90s Bollywood, which is the vibe that I love. And like, my favorite song of all
Yeah.
time is Neen Churai Meri from Ishq, where there's a major synthesizer in the background. So it,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
it reminded me a bit of that. And then with Softly, you've got this really heavy bass guitar in the background, which reminds me of a kind of
Exactly.
Bruno Mars Uptown Funk kind of vibe in there as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
What are your musical inspirations putting this album together?
Just all these people that you named, man. Like I listened to like I grew up in Punjab, but when I came out here, I started listening to the Western music and just, started communicating with all these people out here because I was fresh from Punjab, just landed here, didn't know nothing. But it was a big change for me just to get into this genre and this music and just to get familiar with the sounds, basically. And that just everything. I won't name like one track or like one artist, but like this whole basically this whole country gave me inspiration, man. Canada made me, and I'm really proud that I came out here because the music out here and especially North America, it's just all inspired me. Like all the artists from Toronto, like everybody. I won't name one guy, but all the big people out here, man, they all inspired me, and it was just. And we honestly, like when I started doing this, we just did it. Like we didn't really have no plans of like doing anything. We just kept creating music and it ended up becoming something, honestly.
Karan, for me, this album feels like it's your most authentic self compared to all the music you've ever put out. And the reason I say that is I've watched you do interviews. I really admire somebody like Anupama Chopra, and you did a really nice interview with her. And what I saw in there was a very normal, vulnerable young man who's just trying to live life, who's not had the greatest childhood, who's lived through trauma. But it felt like your music up until this point had an element of a front to it, like a bit of a front of putting up this gangster bad boy image that you're not really that guy.
Nah, man, we're just trying to make music, again, like people sometimes take it too serious, but it is what it is. Like we're not trying to portray any like image of being like one of those guys, but it's just like, sometimes we like gangster music and sometimes we like happy music like Softly, and I'm just trying to create a mix of everything basically, just because I am a writer and I look at things in that perspective, and I just try and write every type of a song for every type of a audience basically. So there's like nothing behind it. Yeah, I'm a pretty normal guy, man. You can look at me.
Yeah, no, you seem like a really nice, happy, like just
Yeah,
a good, wholesome guy. And I feel like this
yeah,
album puts out that perspective of you more than any of your music before this. Is it because you're in a happier place in life? Like you got married earlier this year. Congratulations on that. It feels like the album's quite literally called Making Memories. Are you making happier
exactly.
memories in life?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I've had some bad times in my life, but I won't say I'm not happy today. Like I'm doing good, man. I'm at my peace.
And
Yeah,
also the consistency with music is so great. Like you released an EP just a few months ago for you, where every track was a banger. This album has come
yeah,
out just 3 or 4 months after that. Is
yeah.
this what's inspiring you right now with your music?
So I'll tell you a little story. We actually made Admirin You before we started working on For You. So
Okay.
I made so this whole year, actually, like I'd love to put this out there. So when we were working on the album from last August, I started working on like the first track me and Icky made properly was Admiring You in the studio in last August. That was in Vancouver. And I made that track and we made a couple more tracks. And then 3 months down, we made these tracks like 52 bars, Take It Easy or whatever. We had these couple of these tracks, but with the album, I want to keep it that like positive and happy sound. But we ended up, creating some, as you were saying, some upbeat gangster songs or whatever.
I don't mean gangster song in a bad way. I think those songs are great. They're very, very
Yeah,
good,
yeah,
but they're a
like I know
different
what you mean. Yeah,
style.
yeah, exactly. So like when we worked on 52 bars and Take It Easy, that's when the thought came to my head, like, yo, let's just put out an EP before we put out the album. So even that EP For You, we created in the process of making memories. So yeah, we've been doing that for a year, man. And we made some memories, man, in the studios. We have lots of footage on us, and we'll share it with the fans and you guys soon. Like the whole process of making every track, like it's all recorded on camera. So that's a good thing. Yeah.
Not many people know, some people do, some people don't, that you've written dozens of songs for other artists. You were
Exactly.
giving at the
Yeah.
start of your career, you were giving your songs away to artists just so you could be on the radar. Are there any
Yeah.
songs now that you've written for other artists that you wish you had saved for yourself?
That's a tricky one. There are a couple tracks. I don't know if I want to name them here. But yeah,
Can you give us a
that
clue?
happens. That happens. Even if I give you a clue, you're gonna guess that right. So no. But yeah, I've done that in the past, but going forward, I feel like I only write for people that I want to now. Like back then, it was kind of like I had to do that just to make, you know, my name and just put my name out there basically and just show people what I could do and just to be honest, just gather up some money and some connect to some right people, you know, just to make connections. That's the only reason I did that, and it actually helped me a lot. I won't say like writing 100 songs for other people, like yo, I should have saved them for me. Nah, like that. If I didn't go through that, I wouldn't know like what to do like with my songs. So that was a good experience, man.
There must be a little feeling though when you hear those songs now. You're like, damn it, man! I could have
Uh
done it.
I could have gotten those 100 million streams under my name, but it's okay. That's still my song. That's still my song, right? That's still a hit, and that's what we wanted to do. So that's okay. Like there's
Yeah.
so many songs, honestly, I wouldn't even name one that I thought like I did. And even a lot of people tell me, hey, you should have done this track. And I'm like, don't do this right now to me.
One of the things that I love about your music is that the song names that you have is never actually what we're gonna hear in the song. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I have non-Asian friends who love white, brown, black, and they don't
Yeah.
understand why it's called white, brown, black. And I'm like, well, it's because he's talking about white horses and brown girls and black cars. But when you're writing a
Yeah.
song, when do you decide that this is going to be the song name? And do you ever wonder, like, this is not going to work? Like, this is not the right name to give the song?
Yeah, sometimes we come up with the wrong track names and we end up putting them out too with those names. Like it happened in the past, but like with this album, it was just natural. Like we made the song and we're like, okay, this is Admiring You. Like that was the first thing. But yeah, with White, Brown, Black, I don't know if I named that track.
Who
It was
named
not
it?
me. I don't know, it was somebody from India, I think, yeah.
It kind of
Yeah.
worked.
It did. That track's doing really good, to
Yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
honest. Yeah,
It's
especially in the UK as well. I heard like it's going great. So
you come across as somebody who's very collaborative. Just the fact that you
yep,
are a writer, you have given your music to other artists, it shows that you have a generous attitude where it's not all about you and it's not all about your ego. You've collaborated with artists like Badshah as well. But
exactly.
why are there such few collaborations between leading top Punjabi artists together?
What do you mean by that? Sorry.
So, for example, you're in Vancouver City, right? You're in Vancouver.
Yeah,
Yep. AP Dillon's in Vancouver. Diljit is in
yeah.
San Francisco. You are all in North America. You're all in that North America bubble. Why don't we see you all on tracks together? Because that would be a fan's dream.
Yeah, I feel like I don't really have an answer to that. I feel like everybody's trying to do their own thing, and when the time comes, it will happen, I guess.
Would you be open to those
Yeah.
sorts of collaborations?
Yeah, I'm always open, man. I'm always open. I just want to create good music, spread love, and if it makes sense, I'm always down, you know? Like I just want to create good tracks. I don't care who's on there. Like I'm down to do a collaboration with somebody that's never had a track out. If they're good, I'll put them on my track. And I'll love to do a collaboration with somebody like Diljit or why not? Like I wrote the track Goat for him. That was a dream come true. It was like a check mark thing for me because I always wanted to write for Diljit because he's been in the industry for so long, and it was one of my things. Like I really wanted to do that, like from my heart, you know. And we ended up doing it. And in future, I feel like it'd be a great idea if we could make a sick track together. I feel like it's not just about doing collaboration. It's about the track needs to work out as well. So my first and main priority is just to make a banger basically, and then think about collaborations. And if it makes sense to get somebody on it, and then we go ahead and do that. And but yeah, in future, definitely, man. If the right time comes, we'll make that happen for you guys.
One of the best things that I was thinking about when I was listening to the album is because it's called Making Memories. When you talk to the record label, when you talk to Warner Music and you're like, the album's going to be called Making Memories, does that mean you just get paid to live life? Like, does that mean you get paid to just make memories, go on holiday, live your best life so you have inspiration for the album?
Yeah, paid for all that, but you gotta work with it too. So you go on vacation, but you take your laptop with you and make tracks and send them over. Okay, this is good. Okay, let me get my check. Then I'm on my way. But you don't just, you can't just make memories and live off of that, brother.
So, okay,
But
go
you
on.
gotta make music and make memories
So
together.
what was the best memories you made whilst making this album?
I feel like there's so much, man. From starting like last year, just working in the studios, being there for 12 to 14 hours, not eating for 9 hours and not even knowing. And then me getting married in the process, like, you know, it was my wedding in March and I was still making tracks. And then I went to go get married and then came back, got back to the procedure. So like all that together, you know, it just, yeah, we were making memories this whole year. And I just want everybody to know, like, it's all about spending time with your people, make memories, listen to good music, and just be positive. And like, we don't want no negativity around us. And I don't think any of you guys do either. So just
I'm
be positive, you know?
I'm just imagining you weren't sitting there at your wedding with your laptop on the side trying to write lyrics, right?
No,
Like,
no, no, not for that week. My missus didn't let me. I tried. Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I'm glad you had that moment to yourself as well. Karan, it's been a pleasure talking to you, and I can't wait to do this again and hopefully in person at some point as well.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly. Thank you so much, man. Thank you.